Here with the head coach of the Tigers, Toriano Morgan, before Edward Waters gets set to head up the road, up I-95 to take on Savannah State. Coach, last week you asked everyone to a man, did they love football? They showed that they loved football. A 44-13 victory last week here at home against Morehouse. It just seems like you guys were able to just kind of exercise a lot of demons from those first three games, put everything together. We saw a great result last Saturday.
Well, it started with the team discipline that we've been focusing on. I think we had less than 5 penalties throughout the entire game. So that means we were sustaining drives and not being able to go 3 and out or put ourselves behind the chains offensively and defensively, making their offense work for everything and not giving. So it was a complete team effort this week. Was really proud of the guys and the way they performed.
The ground game really got it done last week. 4 rushing touchdowns on the ground, 2 for John Terrius Thomas, his first rushing touchdowns of his career, 2 for Deshaun Hughes, his first 2 of the season this year. We're really seeing that running game starting to take shape here as we get set for the second half of the season.
Well, it helps when you got 4 to 5 guys out there on the perimeter that can run really fast. So again, we use the pieces of our offense to complement one another. If you're gonna dedicate yourselves to stopping the pass, we like to think that we don't have a problem running it 40, 50 times a game and being successful. If you want to stack the box, we feel really good about the guys that we have out there on the perimeter that they can play with anybody at any point in time and be successful.
It also seems like the confidence of your trigger man is really growing as these games go along. Jarvin Russell has moved up to now the number 2 passer in the SIAC. He just thinks he's taking more control of this offense and more control of this team that, hey, if we're going to be successful, we all got to work together. And they're really getting it done really under number 7 tutelage.
Well, we made the commitment to keeping him upright, and keeping him upright allows him to do what he does. He has a very unique skill set, and I think he's able to showcase a different portion of truly everything that he can do as a quarterback, as a football player, and his leadership. So he's gotten a year into the system, and he started to come on really late last season, rolling off those victories. So now I think he's just kind of found his comfort zone. He's gotten comfortable with what we're asking of him, and he's just leading the team to success right now at this point.
Speaking of being comfortable, the defense really looks a lot more comfortable. And it's the third straight week now that we've talked about this defense really improving and getting better. We saw that last week. Great plays from the defensive line. The linebackers were able to flow. We saw Sky Lewis make some great plays there from that linebacker spot. And then secondary is starting to get better as well. Kennard King is a guy that really want to highlight this week. That move to him going to free safety has just been huge for the Silverwater secondary.
Kennard might arguably be probably the best athlete on the entire roster. He runs like the wind, and he's just very, very football savvy. He has a very high football IQ. And again, it was just a matter of this defense getting some continuity together. They took some growing pains coming out of the gate, but they've started to settle in. And now Coach Vanoga is being able to see the entirety of the pieces that we have with the defenses, and then the staff is doing a great job of game planning to eliminate what our opponents do well and forcing them to do what they don't do well. And that all starts with mitigating the run.
Got to give a nod to the special teams unit as well. Irving Friedman, who's been called into double duty since the beginning of the season, has really started to come on as these last couple of games have gone on, especially punting the football, flipping field position for you, and getting a couple field goals as well. So he's starting to really get into the flow of things as these games go on.
Yes, his confidence has grown. He's gotten accustomed to the speed of the game. He's a dynamic punter, growing into being that field goal kicker that we need. We feel really good about him in certain spots of the field, and that we get there that he'll put it through the upright. In the last 2 weeks, he's shown that.
We closed the first half of the season up on the road against Savannah State. It's one of the longest rivalries that oldest rivalries, I should say, that Edward Waters has had. It's the 29th meeting between the Tigers and Tigers up in Savannah this weekend. They won the last 5 contests against Edward Waters, really. But Aaron Kelton's squad is very, very talented, dynamic quarterback, great wide receivers, solid defense. That tough loss last week in their classic game against Albany State, but they're going to come ready here on Saturday. What are your thoughts on Aaron Kelton's Tigers with Savannah State?
Well, we know Coach Kelsey's going to have them prepared, and we know that they're going to play hard. We know that they like to run the football, and they've shown that they can run the football. So again, we don't oftentimes put a lot of emphasis on who we're playing. It's about what we do. We know it's going to be a hard-fought battle, but we have to stay true to our program and offensively. We're not going to be dictated to. We're going to dictate. That's our goal every week. And defensively, what they do well, we hope to eliminate. But we know they're going to come in fired up, coming off an upsetting loss to Albany State. That they're going to be ready to come out of the gate, and they're back at home, I think, for the first time in a couple of weeks. So getting in front of their home crowd, we know that they're going to come in with a little edge, a little momentum to them. We just have to settle down and play our brand of football.
As we said, we close the first half of the season coming up this Saturday. Give me an assessment of your football squad through these first few games as we get ready to tackle the second half of this football season.
Well, I think we're growing. I definitely still don't believe that we've played our best football yet, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You always want to continue to peak throughout the season. I think we're starting to begin that incline of being able to peak, and that has a lot to do with finding out who we are, things that we do well, do more of, things that we don't do well, don't do anymore. With that philosophy moving forward, I still think the best football is still ahead of this football team. But again, we just have to continue to not beat ourselves, be disciplined on the field. We'll accept competition penalties, but some of the other penalties that were early on putting us behind the eight ball. We've hopefully gotten all of that out of our system, and we're ready to make a run.
Coach, appreciate your time. Best of luck to you this Saturday against Savannah State.
Thank you.
That's the head coach of the Tigers, Toriano Morgan. Kickoff will be at 6 o'clock p.m. up at Ted Rice Stadium in Savannah, Georgia. We'll talk to you then.